Hello, adventurers, and welcome to my Eilton Defense guide. This is brand new content. It is PvE, so player versus environment content, where basically we're just trying to defend this little stronghold, this little town. There's like an artifact in the middle, but we're defending it from waves of monsters. Just a quick heads up, there's going to be two parts to this. The first part is going to be me going over the patch notes and kind of running through what the waves are, what you should be doing, and then the second part is going to be an actual playthrough of Eilton Defense. So if you want, you can always skip the patch notes parts and then just go straight into the gameplay, but I will be covering most of everything that's going to be happening in the actual game mode through these patch notes. But it's your choice, and there will be timestamps down in the description below, so it's definitely up to you. So let's get right into this. So Eilton Defense, I'm going to skip developer commentary, but also if you do want a link to these patch notes, these will also be in the description as well. So again, this is PvE content. It's Eilton Defense. There are requirements to actually access this. You must complete the quest Enix the Holy Flame. So go to the story, and then start the story, the Mountain of Eternal Winter, and then also you have to have a character that has combat power of 39,000 at the minimum. So those are pretty much the requirements. And then for us to actually access this, we can only do it once a week. However, us as adventurers, kind of as like a team, all of us together, we can make this spawn more than once. So anything that we do, our actions that we take in the Mountain of Eternal Winter, it will pretty much charge up the monster's energy, and then once it's at max energy, we'll have a 24-hour notice that, hey, by the way, Eilton Defense is going to start in 24 hours, but once this actually starts, you'll have 1 hour to enter it. So to actually get in, you need either 20 to 30 players, but 20 is the minimum, 30 is the maximum. Once you have 30, it'll automatically put you in there. But there are going to be different waves to this. So while you're in this, you will not be using any citron tea, so that's pretty nice. And then also, my big thing about this, which I'll show you here in a little bit, is always check these rules. So these rules kind of give you a pretty good layout of what does the map look like, and then what are the missions, what's kind of like, how do you get points, what are the buffs. So this is really good to check out. So I'm going to read this again just kind of to go over it, but basically you can start with 20 to 30 adventures, and then you can participate once per week. So this refreshes every Monday. And then entries will be spent when you collect the rewards. So if you don't actually collect the rewards, your entry won't count. And like just an instance for if you weren't able to collect your rewards, if you like got disconnected or something, you can still rejoin within 10 minutes after leaving a match. And then if you got disconnected at the very end, you can still obtain the rewards if you rejoin within 2 minutes after the match ends. So kind of keep that in mind. However, there is one caveat to this game mode. You have to have at least 3,000 contribution for the rewards. Just a heads up, that's actually a really easy number to reach. And I'll kind of tell you more or less how I do it and what's my plan for actually getting these points. So this is just kind of like whatever. Top 3 adventurers can use these text bubbles pretty much to tell others what to do. But this is the thing that we are trying to protect. It's called the Winterland Star. And then there are going to be different waves. So these are like normal monsters. These are different entrances. So in Eilton Defense, you must join forces with your fellow adventurers to protect the holy artifact from incoming monsters. You will fail Eilton Defense when the monsters destroy the Winterland Star. I haven't seen anyone fail, or I haven't failed at least. So it seems it's not like the hardest content in the world. It is pretty cool. It's a nice change of pace. But basically, the Winterland Star recovers 10% of its max HP at the end of each wave. So missions can be started 30 seconds after a wave begins. Bosses appear 60 seconds after a wave begins. So keep that in mind. Bosses will appear 60 seconds after the wave begins. So the first 60 seconds pretty much just kill the mini monsters. And then honestly, my biggest tip would be go for the bosses. Those are way more points. Monsters of each wave deal damage based on the adventurer's max HP. So if you're 500, if you're 50k CP versus like 39k CP, you'll be damaged pretty much the exact same. HP recovery rate plus 10% buff is applied after the start of wave 1. Okay. Destroy mission objectives from each wave to enhance this buff by 10%, stacking up to 100%. Mission objectives. Oh, mission objects, sorry. Pathway, troll, catapult, suspicious burrow, and then you can gain AP increase buffs by defeating monsters, and 50% of your buffs will expire when your character dies. Character who deals the last hit will take the AP buffs. Okay? So these are the table of AP buffs. So Eilton Defense Mercenary, defeat normal monsters, AP plus 5. So if you kill a normal monster, you'll get plus 5 AP. Eilton Defense Elite, defeat violent monsters, AP 250. So if you kill an elite monster, you'll get a lot more AP. And then Eilton Defense Hero, defeat the boss monsters. If I'm being honest with you, it's probably easier to kill the violent ones, and it's because there's going to be more violent than there are bosses. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's up to you what you want to use your Black Spirit skills on. That's what I would use if you're trying to get the last hit for these buffs. And then for normal monsters and violent monsters, contribution points are given to adventurers who deal the last hit. So try to get the last hit. So any characters or classes that use quick attacks, or they have like high attack speed, or their skills just come out really quickly, that's probably going to be the best, so you can last hit things. And then for bosses and priority targets, contribution points are given based on the inflicted damage ranks. So I think getting points from bosses is actually a lot easier, just because all you really have to do is hit them. You don't have to get that last hit. But if you do get the last hit, you still get that AP bonus. So ice crystals have a 100% chance to freeze adventurers. They appear within 20 seconds after a wave begins. So look out for these ice crystals, because if you run into them, you will freeze. Cannon damage, Hwacha damage from alchemy stones are applied. So if you have lower CP, or if you're not too confident in your combat, or if you just like using cannons and Hwachas, you can definitely use these, and then your alchemy stones do still apply. So adventurers can gain contribution according to the table below upon completing a wave mission. So destroy the pathways. This is 90-second time limit. Contributions 1,000. A horde of enemies prioritize the Winterland star appear. That's wave 1. Wave 2, destroy troll catapults. You have 90 seconds, you'll get 2,000 contribution. Enemies approach from the bridge gateway and central gateway will take turns reinforcing their troops. Okay. Wave 3, destroy suspicious burrows. So look for these suspicious burrows. You have 60 seconds. Enemies with high move speed will approach from the hill gateway. If you destroy these, you'll get 3,000 contributions. And then defeat Pikus. You have 5 minutes. The boss Piku will appear. Pikus, there's going to be 3 of them, each with different combat abilities. So going into these waves, wave 1, Ancient Frost Giant Guardian. So there are going to be like mini little mobs. Whenever they're coming, just kill them, and then try to do this, destroy the pathways. So a horde of enemies prioritized. So kill this horde, and try to get these contribution points. For the actual boss, it's going to be Ancient Frost Giant Guardian. And then Ancient Frost Giant Guardian appears on 2 random pathways along with other monsters. So there's going to be 2 of these guys, and it's going to be random which 2. So you basically have a 2 in 3 chance of being on the right path. Once they spawn, I highly encourage just running to that path that they're on and kill them. I wouldn't say ignore the other ones, but there's enough adventurers to take care of the other monsters, so it's definitely up to you. But again, I would prioritize bosses first. It's easier, more guaranteed contribution points. Ancient Frost Giant Guardian will charge straight towards the Winterland star. They do not target adventurers, so you can either go to the path that they're on and like target them specifically, or just run to the Winterland star, stay in the middle, and then kill them once they get there. For wave 2, Breukia. So there's going to be 3 of these bears. Breukia appears on all 3 pathways of Eilton. Breukia curls up and viciously rolls towards adventurers. You must be careful not to be in their line of attack. So when Breukia stops rolling and glares at adventurers, the target adventurer will suffer a powerful attack. So basically, try not to be in his line of sight, and then once he stops rolling, watch out for that charged attack. Target adventurer must separate from their allies. So if you're being targeted, get away from everyone else. Other than that, it's not too hard. There's going to be 3 of them. As soon as you kill one, just go to the next one and rinse and repeat. They will be rolling all over the map. So if you can only kill like 1 or 2 or participate in them, that's fine. There's 30 adventurers for a reason, basically. So wave 3, Kanditus. I don't know if I said that right. Elite Shaman. So there is going to be this shaman right here. Once it spawns, as always, just run straight to the boss. Again, you'll have 60 seconds before they spawn. So kill the smaller monsters and then go to the boss, but run straight to the boss and then damage it. Once you've done a certain amount of damage though, well, I guess let me read this first. So it appears on a random pathway. The Kanditus Elite Shaman launches a volley of attacks using their giant staff and will teleport to a certain location when they take enough damage to their HP. So once they teleport, there's going to be these portals. There's going to be 3 of them. There's going to be a red, a yellow, and a blue portal. Whenever you take these portals, it'll take you to one of the bosses, I guess. You can interact with the portals, and one will lead to the boss. So basically, he's going to be in one of these 3 teleporters. It's going to be at random, so just take one, and then if you get to it, nice. If not, then just run to where it is on the map, and that's okay. Or what you can do is kind of wait until you see it on the map, and then just run over there. And then for wave 4, this is going to be the final wave. Final boss, Piku. So there's going to be 3 of these Pikus. There's going to be different ones. So one's like lightning hands, one's like a yellow head, the other one's like red feet. I don't really know. But it'll say right here. So the menacing Piku has sharp horns and is overwhelming in size. 3 different Pikus will appear in the final wave: blue hand Piku, red foot Piku, and yellow aura Piku. Each Piku has a different ability, and they each charge towards the holy artifact to unleash powerful attacks when the remaining HP reaches a certain point. So they're going to spawn in different areas, and they'll all be there. They'll be in that one area until their HP drops to a certain percentage. So go to one, attack it until it's really low, and then go to the holy artifact. So for the blue hand Piku, uses their frigid hand from a distance to create freezing zones and deal immense damage. Redfoot Piku uses their blazing legs to create burning zones on impact. Yellow Aura Piku uses their aura to empower the HP and strength of their allies. It's up to you which ones you want to go for. I feel like the yellow one's going to probably be the most important to kill first, just because they empower the HP and strength of their allies. However, if they empower the HP of their allies, maybe you'll be able to do more damage towards them and get more contribution, but I'm not entirely sure. It's just speculation. And then here's the best thing. So Eilton Defense rewards. You can obtain reward chests upon completing Eilton Defense with a set chance to receive certain items upon opening them. So the top 80% of contributions, or how do I say this? You have to be in the top 80 percentile of players who got contribution points, and these are going to be your rewards. So you'll get a Void Sent Eye, that's guaranteed. And then, actually, don't quote me on that. I think it's guaranteed. From what I've seen, everyone's gotten one. So, and then these 2, I think this is going to be the one that's not guaranteed. So it's pretty much one or the other. I could be completely wrong, though. Who knows? But basically, what you can get is a Primal Unknown Memory, and that's going to be for your necklace. And then you can also get an Abyssal Unknown Memory for your necklace. I've only gotten the Abyssal, so I know that the Primal's not, like, guaranteed. But I also don't know if the Abyssal's guaranteed. But everything else I've seen is consistent. Like, you'll always get these. So Crimson Crown times 10, Chaos Crystal times 500, Aelia Fragments times 1,000. So bottom 20%. So if you didn't have the most contribution points, you'll pretty much just get this. Void Sent Eye, Abyssal Unknown Memory, 5 Crimson Crowns, Chaos Crystals 250, and then the Fragments still you'll get 1,000. So it's actually not that bad. It's pretty much the same rewards, just at least you have a chance to get a Primal if you're in the top 80. 80%, not like 80 players, but other than that, I believe that's pretty much everything on here, because I don't think there's a way you can actually get that earring. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the actual game, and then I will talk to you in the actual gameplay. Alright, so now that we're back in the game, let's go ahead and join Eilton Defense. Whenever it's available, it'll show on the top left corner, and then it kind of says like how much time you have left. Just as a reminder, you can get the Void Sent Eyes as well as pink unknown memories for your necklace. So these are really good rewards, and then whenever you're ready, just select enter, and then it kind of will take a little bit of time. You're just waiting for other adventurers to also do what you're doing. But once there's 30 of them, or 30 other adventurers, you'll automatically be put into the actual game. And then just as a quick reminder, you can always check your rules from this tab right here. So whenever you click to join, you can also click the little question mark with rules, and then this will go over the basic rules as well as the missions. It also shows you a map, so you know where the cannons are, the Hawacha, and then where the actual paths are for these mobs to come through. I think this is really helpful, but again, that first portion of this video that I recorded going over the patch notes, that's really a more in-depth guide of how you should be tackling these waves. So make sure you watch that if you haven't watched that. But yeah, let's go get right into it. Alright, so now that we're in Eilton Defense, I did just want to let you know that I will be speeding this up ×2, just to save your time pretty much. But this guy's kind of just telling you the rules of it, how you should be doing it. But also, this is my very first time doing it. This is like right after it released, so my game's a little bit laggy, and also I wasn't entirely sure what to do at this point. As you just saw, I just got frozen. Those are those things that spawn after 20 seconds, and if they hit you, you'll freeze. But basically, the first thing that I went ahead and did was I attacked these monsters as they spawned. Here, when the bosses spawn, what you should do is run straight over to them and try and kill them. This was a mistake on my part, and hopefully you'll learn from my mistake. But basically, that's like guaranteed contribution points, whereas just killing these monsters, there's a lot of other people competing for these points, and then they're kind of hard to kill, so you really don't get that many contribution points. So again, once the bosses spawn, just run straight to them. It's probably for the best anyways, but these first two bosses, they do spawn randomly for like which path they go on, so they could have spawned on the one that I was at. Unfortunately, they did not, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so for wave 2, we'll be having the Breukia spawn, and there's going to be 3 of them. They're going to be one on each of these lanes, so there are 3 lanes. Just kind of kill these monsters. After 60 seconds, the bosses will spawn, so just try to kill them as soon as they spawn. But also, something that I noticed was there were these little spider things. I believe those are the violent mobs, so if you kill those, you'll get extra AP as well, so kind of keep that in mind. And then for every one of these small monsters you kill, you'll get AP as well. So as you can see on the mini-map, the Breukia spawned. There's one actually right on top of me now. I again encourage, just target those bears, target those bosses. That's a great way to get contribution, so just keep that in mind. And then those violent mobs as well, they give a lot of contribution, so if you can find a violent mob, make sure you do that. And just as a reminder, these Breukia, they do roll, so as you just saw, I just face tanked the roll from that bear. Try not to be directly in its face whenever you're going up to attack it, because as you just saw, I got rolled again and I pretty much died instantly. So do try to avoid being in front of them. Do try to be I guess cognizant of where they're looking, and then also if they're like targeting you, they have a special attack, so try to get away from other adventurers because you'll get them caught up in that crossfire as well. So now that the Breukia are dead, we'll just clear out the rest of these monsters, and then there's gonna be 15 seconds to the next wave. So for wave 3, we will be fighting Kanditus Elite Shaman. He will appear in one of these 3 lanes. It'll be at random, but as soon as he spawns, again, run to him. Once the Shaman's HP is down to a certain percentage, he'll pretty much like disappear, and then there's going to be 3 teleporters. It's going to be kind of random, but one of those teleporters will take you to the Shaman. Also, while you're doing this, there's going to be other missions, so try to defeat this burrow. You'll get extra points for doing that as well. But basically, if you defeat this burrow, this spider is going to come out. Just kill the spider. You'll get a lot of contribution for killing both of them. So just keep that in mind. But once that shaman is up, go run to it, damage it. That's a lot of contribution points there as well. I just decided to kill this violent mob because I was the only one on it. So might as well get the guaranteed contribution points and the bonus AP. So if you don't have a violent mob right in front of you, I do encourage just go attack the boss, and then pick one of these 3 portals, and then you'll either be taken to the boss or you'll be taken far away from the boss. And if you're far away, just run to where the boss is at. So once you get to the boss, which is what I'm doing, just go ahead and attack it, and then once you kill it, get those contribution points, and you'll be starting the final wave. Which actually, in this case, it kind of looks like we didn't finish the 3rd boss off quickly enough, so the final wave actually already started. So what I would recommend is don't be on the side where you just killed that 3rd boss. Like, if you have time, try to go to a different side, just because there's going to be a lot of adventurers who are already on that side killing the 3rd wave's boss. So basically what I'm saying is you're not going to get as much damage on this boss because there's so many people attacking it, whereas if you were to be on the other side, like attacking the other 2 bosses, there's not nearly as many people on it, so you'll get more contribution points. But once these bosses are down to a certain HP, they will start just charging directly towards the artifact that you're trying to protect. So honestly, I think it might be best to try and like level out their HP together, so that way they don't all charge it at once. However, in this case, it didn't really matter, so that's okay. And then just, again, be aware that each one of these Piku, they have different abilities. So the yellow one empowers the other's HP and their attack. The red one, I think, just like stomps the ground and like creates like a fire that'll burn you. And then the blue one, I don't remember, but I talked about it earlier in the video. So that's actually it right there. We just successfully defeated it. My rank was 18, so we did get in the top 80 percentile. So we got the Eilton Defense reward 2, and I'll show you what that reward is right now. Alright, so for the Eilton Defense reward 2, what we ended up getting was 1 Void Sent Eye, an Abyssal memory for the necklace, and then the rest is just the Crimson Crown and whatnot. So hopefully this helped you. Please let me know what you thought about the video. Please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate your support. Thanks, I'll see you next time. Bye.